Alrighty, guys. So, whoo-wee, what a week. Just in general, it's been fun and it's been sad. We all know about the Charlie Kirk thing, and on that topic, it looks like they probably have the shooter in custody. And all I can say is he'll never get a fair trial anywhere. And I'm just leave that one at that because I'm not going to sway anybody any direction on it. But hopefully that'll kind of bring some closure to some things. Now, outside of that, since that's the national tragedy of sorts, on the local front for the SoftWash Mafia, yeah, it's actually been pretty quiet, which I'm actually happy about as the owner, believe it or not, because I'm the one executing all the jobs. And 2 weeks previous, pretty dang busy, man. And well, with quiet weeks comes estimates, and I have been graced with 3 good solid bookings. And when I do when I do the recordings, one of them's going to be interesting because I'm calling it the world's smallest job. I'll talk about that one later. But what's interesting, and I'll say this, that when it comes to doing sales, you honestly never have to really sell people on anything. I have hit on this before, and man, it's just being genuine, being authentic. If I could think of anything, I know it's a very simple, rudimentary thing, but man, when people know you care, you're not, I'll be honest, you're in a very different mode at that point, and you're just really honestly in the process of things. You're being very down to earth, you're being their neighbor, and it's just a lot easier to close. Now, does it always work out? No. And I can tell you a story from last week of a very snarky young lady who thought her britches were too big for her own good. And quite frankly, on the business end, good riddance to her, because I didn't want to do business with her. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I don't do business with everybody, and for good reasons. And quite frankly, someone else can do her job. They probably did. God bless them. But going back to just the part about with closing sales, it's actually not that hard. You don't have to wrangle anybody into anything. I know one thing that helps, like especially when you get not leads, but just like warm referrals or just referrals in general. When the trust is there, it's just easy, and a lot of times it just comes down to, are they willing to pay the rate you ask? And that's about that. So I had an estimate with a lady this morning. I guess she ran across some information online. It wasn't through like Google or Andy's or anything like that. And one of her words were, she says, "Hey, it sounds like you actually answer calls pretty quickly and do the things you say you're going to do." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I just said, as a backstory, I says, I started out with, Angie's leads, and I said, they always show us 15 minutes to respond. I said, in truth, it's actually 2 to 5. You got to move quick, and it's just a part of it, because when people are looking, they're looking. And honestly, some of that crowd, when they're acting like they're in a hurry, it's a good chance that they're really not that serious. But when people do have a legitimate urgency and press, they're not looking for tons of quotes. They're looking to get it done. I mean, unless you're so far out of their range that you're too far apart, they'll probably use you. So this is actually where the reviews come in. So if you look at mine, I'm like in the upper 60s. I don't have tons and tons of quotes, and so, or not quotes, but reviews. And one thing that has made a massive difference is every one of those reviews is the real deal. We don't bribe or woo people to do them with any kind of compensation. They do them on their own, and we respond back to them. We tell them thank you. We tell them, we appreciate the vote of confidence, yada, yada, yada. And one thing, since I'm the one responding, that I tell everybody or try to convey at least through them that, one, I was there because I mentioned things that would have put me there, whether it was yard or something distinct about the house or whatever. Like that one, I saw a rope swing. I loved it. It's the idea that, man, it wasn't just me saying thank you flippantly, because I think that's probably too much a part of the landscape and reviews, but an actual, like, I was there, we talked, you know, face to face, the whole bit, something that says, hey, there was a connection, and you know, there's a bit of intimacy to it, where it's like, yeah, we actually worked together on a project, and it changes the tone and the vibe and everything. And all I can say is, while you may not have tons of reviews, when they're genuine, the real deal, man, it speaks. This is the best I can tell you on that. It speaks. Whoops. That's funny. Yeah, it speaks loud, and it's phenomenal. So just make your reviews count. They are the modern word of mouth. I wish more people were connected like years back. For the most part, we're just not like that anymore. Very compartmentalized society. So makes a difference, man. People you don't know that are giving a genuine thumbs up, attaboy. You know, people you don't normally know, and they're giving you a good attaboy, because guess what? They dealt with you. And it just comes down to simple things like, what was it, love, honor, and charity. You know, being faithful in the things that you're tasked with. You know, actually proving you're worth a darn makes a difference. Call that old-fashioned, but it will always be front and center. So yeah, be genuine, be real, and you know what? When you're on the jobs, do a little more than what you're asked to. You might find out you get a better review than you ever planned on. And you know what people like to do when they're really, really happy? They'll even tip you. My personal favorite in the summer is a bottle of cold water. No joke. Because, man, when it's 98 degrees and you look like you emptied the ocean out all over your shirt, cold bottle of water is the greatest. Yeah, tips are good too. So, pays for lunch. But look, I don't have anything else. Just been kind of wild a week, so to speak. And looking forward to a new week next week. And we're going to rock out the weekend and enjoy ourselves. So listen, God bless y'all. Be safe. Look up, remember who created you, and say thank you, because we are not promised tomorrow. Love you guys.